friends, Sleepy here, and welcome to a brand new pickups video. I got a lot of great games to share with you guys today, including a bunch of gifts that I received thanks to my brother, which my brother actually just left a few days ago to go back home, but he was up here visiting for the last 2 weeks. The main reason for his visit was to help my mom because she actually just had her knee replaced a couple weeks ago. So he came up here and brought her to the hospital and actually picked her up the next day, and she is doing really well and is recovering. But my brother came up here so he could help my parents with her knee surgery and help her to take her to doctor's appointments and help them do shopping and just help them around the house and stuff for a couple of weeks to help them get back into a normal life as my mom, is in recovery with her knee, which she is doing really good, which is awesome. And so while my brother was up here, he wanted to do some game hunting and wanted to go out and spend time together. So that's what we did. The last time he was up here was in January around my birthday, and he wanted to go out game hunting more, but he was only here for a few days. I had to work, and we didn't have a whole lot of time to get out there. And so he wanted to buy me a few more gifts for my birthday. And he said, the next time up here, we'll go out again, and I'll get you some more stuff. And he was going to get me a few things, and ended up turning into a huge stack of stuff as we were finding stuff. And he's like, no, just get it, man. It's a good price. So I got a huge stack of stuff I got thanks to him, which I do want to thank my brother so much for these wonderful gifts. These games were awesome, and we got some really good prices on it too. A lot of the games were priced at $3, $4, a couple 5. There was a few for 6. Had one was like 8, and then there was just a couple at the end for $10. But we got some really good stuff. Now, one of my main goals, collecting-wise for this year, is I really want to build up my PSP collection, the PlayStation Portable Console, which now I've owned this console for a long time. I just have not really been playing it or actively collecting for it for the last several years because the batteries that I had for my PSPs are dead, and the only way to enjoy playing the console was to have it plugged in always, which means I can only play it at home. And so I kind of just shelved it and said I'd get a new battery for it, and I just never did, and it just kind of been sitting. But Christmas last year, my wife actually bought me a battery for it, and now I can use my PSP 1000, one of the original PSP models, and actually can take it around and play games with me. And I started playing games, so I got out my box of PSP games that I had, which is not all of them, but it was a good majority of the games I owned. Started playing with them and just, fell in love with the handheld again. And I decided this year, I really want to build up my PSP collection because there were a lot of great games released on the PSP that I have missed over the years, a lot that I haven't played, and a lot of games that I had not picked up. And right now is a really good time to pick up games, especially at my game stores, because a lot of PSP games are priced really cheap. And they've actually been bringing out a lot of their PSP games from their warehouse because we're now into tax season. And so throughout the year, they do stockpile extras of stuff, and they will release it at like Christmas time. But then they also like to release it around tax time because I know people have more money since they have their taxes, and people are willing to spend more money. And so they usually, will bring out extra stuff during the tax season, is which they did. So I was able to get a bunch of PSP games thanks to my brother. And then I've also got a couple games I picked up at GameStop. So we'll start off with a couple things that I picked up for myself. First one is a PSP game, and it is Mod Nation Racers, which this is a really fun little Mario Kart type of fun racing game that Sony released with the different little racers and stuff, and you can create your own tracks and things like that. And I had always heard really good things about this, and it was recommended by the guy that worked there, said it was really fun, so I definitely wanted to get it for my collection. And I did play a little bit of this, and I did like it. It's pretty fun, so I'm happy to get it. And it was also complete, and it was only $3, so that was a great deal for that. The other PSP game I bought there was Siphon Filter Dark Mirror, which I had the other Siphon Filter game on PSP, but I did not have Siphon Filter Dark Mirror. Now, I have been a huge fan of the Siphon Filter series ever since I played the demo for Siphon Filter 1 on the PlayStation 1, and I eventually, bought that game and got Siphon Filter 2 and Siphon Filter 3, and then some of the other ones on PS2 and stuff. But I did not have Dark Mirror for the PSP, and I have not played it before, and I love the series. It's really cool, so I definitely look forward to checking out this one. It's in pretty good condition. I just got to clean off some sticker residue on the case. It was also complete, and I only had to pay $5 for this one, so that was awesome. Definitely looking forward to checking that out. When I was at GameStop this week, I actually picked up a couple of brand new PSP games. This first one was only $20, and it is a exclusive title that was only released in GameStops, and they had it marked down to $20 brand new. I think it was originally 30, and it's a twin stick shooter, and it's called Helmet, the Badass from Hell. So like it's has the retro pixelated like 8-bit graphics, and it's a twin stick shooter. And I've heard good things, I heard bad things from it, but I just was checking out video gameplay of it, and it just looked really fun. When I was checking their website, I was looking at GameStop having their tax sale, and they had some games marked down, and this will just look really fun. And it was nice that they actually had the case with it, because I don't like buying Switch games without the case if I can help it. I want them to have the game, obviously, and then I like to have the cases for my games. There's just certain things I like to have cases for, and Switch is one of them. But this looks like a really fun game. I definitely looking forward to checking it out, and like I said, it was only 20 bucks, so that was awesome. And now this other game, I didn't even know this freaking came out on the Nintendo Switch. I just happened to see a launch trailer for it, that it was actually released, and that GameStop actually had a bonus, pre-order bonus for it. If you had pre-ordered, you got these little extra goodies for it. But by the time I found out about this game, it was a few days after that it released in the end of February, and here we are in March, and I found out it was already released. I'm like, damn, if I knew that, I would have picked it up, only because I love these two games. And that was Metro Redux. So they have Metro 2033, and last night they ported to the Nintendo Switch. This was $50 brand new, which I'm a huge fan of these games. And I have beat these on the Xbox 360 a couple times, and I also beat them on the Xbox One as well several times. I'm just a huge fan of the Metro games. Absolutely love them. I also have Metro Exodus on the Xbox One. I got the Aurora Edition, which I actually need to finish that. That was one of my goals this year, is to finish some of those games. But when I saw this was on the Nintendo Switch, I had to buy it just because I'm a huge fan of the game. Now, normally you wouldn't want to pay like 50 bucks for these games, but I had to get the Switch version just so I could play this portable, and I was really happy and surprised that these do run pretty well on the Nintendo Switch. It says it's like 720p in the handheld mode, and if you have it docked, it's 1080p. And I did play both of these for a little bit just to check them out, and I did not notice that much like lag or any slowdown or anything. They did run really well on the Switch, so I was really happy to add these to my collection. And the nice thing is, this was the only copy that they had left. They only got 3 in total, and they had the pre-order bonuses. I asked the guy if he happened to have one, and he said he does, and said I could just have it. So I got the extra pre-order bonus stuff here, which gives you a game sleeve to put over top of this. It also gives you alternate artwork inlay. You get 4 art cards. You get a giant fold-out poster. One side says Metro 2033. The other side says Metro Last Light. And you also get a pin badge set. So that was really cool to get. These are really hard to find, because I don't know how many retailers have them. I know GameStop had them, but most GameStop stores, the guy there, the manager there, it's really cool, dude. I like that GameStop on my house. He's really nice. Told me that every store only got like maybe 2 or 3 of these, as it was not really promoted well. So there was not a whole lot of pre-orders for Metro Redux on the Nintendo Switch. Like, I didn't even hear about it, and he said most people didn't hear about it, and he didn't even know that it was on the Switch until it freaking came into their store in their shipment. So they didn't market it really well, but I was just excited to get Metro Redux for the Nintendo Switch, and to get the pre-order bonus item, because that was when I saw they had a pre-order bonus item. I was really bummed. I'm like, damn, that would have been cool to get, because I like the Metro and I like pre-order stuff. But I was so happy I was able to get that last one there, and it's still brand new. Now they had, as you can see, they had it separate from the game. Like, they weren't packaged together. They just had them come in separately. So if you had pre-ordered the game, you would have got this. I don't know, if like 30 people had pre-ordered, if everybody would have got a copy of this, if they would have sent more. More than likely they wouldn't. I mean, that's what happens sometimes at GameStop. They don't always honor all the pre-order bonus items. Just that's how the company is. And then they just say, in the fine print at the bottom, while supplies last. So you could pre-order and then get screwed out of it. But at least I was able to get the little bonus items, and I'm looking forward to fully beating both Metro 2033 and Metro Last Light again, because both of those were fantastic games. If you have never played the Metro series, highly recommend them. You can get it from Nintendo Switch now. You can get it on the PC, of course, 360, PS. I don't know if you can get them on a PS3. I know you can get on PS4 and Xbox One. Very fun series. So happy to have those. So that was a wonderful thing to buy. And now we'll go on to the gifts that I got from my brother. We hit up several different stores, And this first thing is a Japanese amiibo, and it is the Mario Brothers, the 30th anniversary one. And this is the classic 8-bit Mario, but it's a Japanese amiibo, which is really cool. It was still boxed. I think we got this for like $8 or $9. I definitely had to have when I saw it. He's like, "Oh yeah, man, you got to get that," because he knows that I like collecting amiibos. And when he saw there was a Japanese one, he's like, "Yeah, we're definitely getting that." So that was such a cool gift to get. I'd love to get the other Japanese Mario to go with this one that had the I think it's a Fire Mario look to it. Is another one, but that was so cool to get. So thanks again for that, Mike. And now we'll move on to a huge stack of PSP games. I was just planning to get a few, and then we just kept going. I was like, "No, get this one, dude. This looks good. This looks good." And next thing you know, I got 26 more PSP games for my collection. And like I said, a lot of these are priced at $3, some $4, $5, $8, and a couple were at $10. But overall, we got a really good, incredible deal on these. And it was so awesome to build up the PSP collection. I got a lot of wonderful titles. So we'll start here. The first one I got is Prince of Persia Revelations, which I did not know there was a Prince of Persia game on the PSP. And I believe this one is kind of like a reworked version of Prince of Persia Warrior Within that was released on Xbox and PS2. I'm a big fan of the Prince of Persia games. Did not have it. Saw this, I had to have it for the collection. And it's also complete and in really good condition. A lot of these PSP games are in great condition. Now, there was a lot of PSP games I left behind that I would have picked up, but because they were just the UMD disc only, and I don't like disc only for PSP. I like to have the cases for them, so I was happy to get that. Next up, we have Secret Agent Clank, which I always like the Ratchet and Clank games. Now, I have this on the PS2, but I did not know they had it on PSP. Saw it there and figured it'd be kind of cool to get. Now, it is the greatest hits, but I don't really care if it's greatest hits. I just want to have the game. It's also complete and in really good condition. Now, definitely a title I want to check out. I've never played it before. I heard good things about it, and I want to try it out. And it looks like it's going to be a fun game. So let's have to get that. Next up, got Transformers, the game. Now, I've loved the Transformer games on the Xbox 360, Xbox One. I own quite a few of them, played through a lot of them, beat them all, and I really enjoyed them. But I've never played one on the PSP, and this one actually says that this was actually built specifically for the PSP system. So I'm looking forward to checking it out because I love Transformer games. So we'll have to see how this one is. It's also complete, so another one I look forward to checking out. Next up here, I got a copy of Lego Star Wars 2, the original trilogy. I love these on the old Xbox, and then when they re-released them on the 360, really fun games. So definitely know I'd enjoy it on the PSP on the go. So looking forward to playing through these again because they were a fun little story going through these that classic Star Wars trilogy. So that was an awesome game there. Definitely happy to have that. Next up here we have Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Predator, which I have always liked the Ghost Recon games. Never played Predator. Got this, to play through the story missions, of course, and definitely hope that it's a good one. I like Tom Clancy games, and especially these little first-person shooters are always fun games. Actually, well, this one's a third-person shooter, but still a fun game. Looking forward to checking that one out. It looks good. Next up, we have Lemmings, which I haven't actually played Lemmings on the PSP. I've heard a lot of good things. The guy at the store I was excited when I pulled it. He's like, "Man, I used to have this when I had a PSP." He's like, "Can I hold it for a minute?" And he was just looking through and checking it out. And he's like, "Yeah, dude, you definitely got to check this out, especially if you have never played it on the PSP." He said it's an awesome title. It was one of the games that he had in his collection for a long time until he, unfortunately, sold it off. He said as he moved on to new generations. But he said it was worth checking out, so I picked up Lemmings. Looking forward to checking out this little puzzle game. It looks fun. It is complete, and I love the artwork on the inlays in these PSP games. It's really cool that some of them have that. I really like that artwork in there, so that was awesome. Definitely looking forward to checking out Lemmings. Next up, I have a Lord of the Rings game here. Lord of the Rings Aragorn's Quest, which I love Lord of the Rings games. Never played this one, never even heard of it until I saw it there on the PSP. So I'm hoping that it's a pretty cool game as you play as Aragorn. I don't know if there's anyone else you can play as. I'm pretty sure you just play as him, but I definitely want to check it out and see how it is because it does look pretty fun, and it was also complete, so that looks cool. Next up here is a game never heard of before. It was called Field Commander. Sony Online Entertainment released this. Strategic warfare in the palm of your hand. Turn the battlefield to your advantage in 30 single-player missions. Command 36 different unit types. It looks kind of like it's an RTS type of game, some kind of like tactical game. So I figured I'd give it a try. I do remember this one was only $3 and it's complete. So I'll have to check it out and see how it is and let you guys know if this game was good or not. Next up here, we got another Star Wars title, and this is Star Wars The Clone Wars Republic Heroes. Now I have this on the Xbox 360. I don't know if it's the same game as that, but I really liked that game. It was really fun. I had rented it and got through it really far. So I saw it on the PSP, and I'm like, definitely want to check it out because I do like the old Clone Wars, and I have been seeing some of the Clone Wars TV show, which I'd actually like to buy the whole set and go through that series because it looked really fun from the few episodes that I watched. And so having a game based in that time is really cool. So definitely had to get it. It is complete. And so I was happy for that one. Next up, got another Jak and Daxter game here. Jak and Daxter: The Lost Frontier. Love the series. Never played this on the PSP. Saw that there. Definitely had to have that. So I was glad to get that. It is complete. So I'm looking forward to eventually getting to this one. Next up now, we're going to go through some SOCOM games, which I have loved SOCOM games. You know, that was one of Sony's big shooter games. There's a SOCOM series, and I got 3 of these for the PSP, and there's actually a little series. And the first one is SOCOM U.S. Navy SEALs Fireteam Bravo. I've heard really good things about this game. Checked out gameplay of it. Definitely want to play through the story and beat it. It is complete. They also had SOCOM U.S. Navy SEALs Fireteam Bravo 2, so the sequel to that first one. I'm not sure if the stories are linked together or not, so I'll have to check that out. But I was just happy that they had them. Also was complete. Gotta just take a little residue off that top part. And they also had SOCOM U.S. Navy SEALs Fireteam Bravo 3, so the third one. Again, like I said, I'm not sure if all 3 of these are linked story-wise together or if they're just separate things. But definitely would like to play through the story of these, as I really like SOCOM games. I have never played these on the PSP, so that was such awesome to find 3 of them there. I don't know if there's any other PSP SOCOM games out there. I'll definitely have to keep an eye out and check out and see if there are, but I was really happy to get those. Next up, I got a racing game here, which I'm a big fan of this series. It's MotorStorm Arctic Edge, and the guy there said that he loved this game when he had his PSP, as well as that Lemmings game, so glad to add that to my collection because you can never have enough racing games. And you guys know I love my racing titles, so I got another one for the PSP. Was happy with that. Next up, we got Juiced Eliminator, another Juiced series. This one looked really fun. You know, I want to get more racing games for the PSP, and I know I've liked the other Juiced games, so definitely had to check this one out. Looked really cool. And it says high stakes pink slip racing, so I'm assuming that you actually can win other cars from rivals or stuff in races in this, so that'd be a really cool concept. It's got the manual and it's complete, so happy with that one. Next up, we got Scarface Money, Power, Respect. So this is different than the Scarface game we got on the PS2 and Xbox One. This is more like plays kind of like a Risk tactical Scarface game. Like I saw some gameplay of it. Don't know 100% how the game plays, but you know, I love Scarface and I definitely wanted to try something out new, so I'm looking forward to checking this out. I did hear really good things about this game, so for the PSP, you know, I had to grab it. It is complete. Love the Scarface movie, one of my favorite movies of all time, and I definitely want to check out this PSP version. It looks awesome. Next up here, I got a Medal of Honor game, and I do like Medal of Honor. That's another series I've loved since the whole PlayStation 1 days and the PC and stuff. But this was Medal of Honor Heroes. So it said it has 15 intense missions, so obviously, you know, it takes place during World War II, and it was exclusively on the PSP system, so another game built for the PSP, so I look forward to checking out this. Love Medal of Honor games, and this one looks like it's going to be just as fun as the other ones. Now, it did have a Greatest Hits copy in there and a black labeled copy, but, you know, it wasn't a big deal. That's the copy they had, and I was just happy to have this. Looking forward to checking that one out as well. Next up, I got a copy here of Ren Goku, The Tower of Purgatory. Now, I have Ren Goku 2, but I've never been able to find the first one because I want to play that one because I heard good things about it, but I wanted to play the first one first, so I've been waiting to find a copy, and I found one. Now, this one was a little rough, a little beat up. The case is beat up. There's a little scratches on the manual, but the disc is nice, and it has the manual, and this was cheap, too. I think it was only $3, so I can't say no. to a cheap copy, and I'm glad to finally have this so I can actually play through the 2 games on the PSP now. So I can start with this one and eventually beat number 2 after I beat this one. So can't wait to try that one out. Looks really good. Next up, I got another racing game here, and this was Wipeout Pulse. I remember this one for sure was $3. Like the Wipeout little racing games, they're fun. Did not have one for the PSP, so hell, for $3, definitely pick it up, try it out. Looks like it'll be fun, and it is also complete, which is awesome. A lot of these, almost all of these, except for that one, except for like one of these titles, is complete to be picked up, and that's awesome. I love having manuals for my games. It's such a shame that we don't have manuals anymore for games. Like, I love reading through them because learn stuff. I like the artwork they have in them. It's just an art and stuff that we have lost, unfortunately, as we are moving closer and closer to the digital age. I mean, you can have a digital manual in the game, but I like something physical that I can hold and read whenever I want to. So that's something I do miss, is having manuals in games, but that's something that I like having. Next up, we have a copy here of Daxter, and I've heard really good things about this game. Jack in Daxter games, and that you play as Daxter in his own solo adventure. Really cool game I've always wanted to play, so I was so happy to find this, and we got it for, I think, $5. And it is complete with the manual. Definitely looking forward to checking this out, because I've always liked the Daxter character. He's really cool, and I've always wanted to play this Daxter game. I heard really good things about it when it first came out, and just never got it for my PSP, so happy to have that now. Next up here, got another game that's really cool, and that is Ratchet and Clank Size Matters, which I love the Ratchet and Clank games. I actually want to get all the Ratchet and Clank games that were released for the PS2, PS3, if there's any for PS4, get those, and obviously the PSP version, so I was happy to get that. It is greatest hits, but I don't really care about that. And it is complete with the manual, so that is awesome. Glad to have that, and looking forward to checking this out, because I do love this Ratchet and Clank series. Very good games. If you guys like fun games exclusive to Sony consoles, highly recommend the Ratchet and Clank games. They are awesome. Next up, I got a Star Trek game for the PSP, and I forgot that this actually came out, and I'm a big fan of Star Trek, and that was Star Trek Tactical Assault. Now, this is the only one that was missing the manual, but that's alright. I mean, it was only $3. I definitely want to check this out. It's a Star Trek tactical game. It has all the classic ships from the original series. You got your Constitution class, your Miranda class, your Klingon Bird of Prey, and the different Klingon ships and stuff. Definitely looking forward to trying out, because I'm a huge fan of Star Trek, and you can never have enough Star Trek games. So happy to find this for the PSP. So that was an awesome find there. Really happy to get that. Next up, I got a Warhammer game here, and it's Warhammer 40,000 Squad Commander, which I've always liked the Warhammer 40,000 series. There's, I think, Fire Warrior is what it's called. It's a first-person shooter on the PS2. I love that game. And so my brother and I looked at that. He's like, hey, that looks cool. You got to pick it up. And it looks like an isometric kind of control thing. And it has looks cool. It says 9 different missions and stuff. You can do head-to-head. So I'm not sure exactly how this controls, but it just looked pretty cool. As complete, and my brother's like, yeah, man, you gotta get that, you like that series, so we'll get it, and you can see how it is. So that was a cool gift to get. Got a few more PSP games here. Next up is Valhalla Knights X-Seed game. So this is a RPG for the PSP, which there are a ton of RPGs on the PSP. I want to get a lot of the RPGs. I missed out on tons of them. There's a lot of great ones. This is one I missed out on. It was in great condition. It was only, I think, $9, and it is complete, so I definitely look forward to eventually getting to this one. This next one I was so excited to get. I have wanted to track this down for a long time, heard really good things about this. It's another Star Wars title, and this is Star Wars Battlefront Elite Squadron. Now, this is had elements taken from the canceled Star Wars Battlefront 3. Some of those elements that were in that game got scrapped, got put into this game, which is where you can actually fly ships and go to capital ships and fight there, and then go and land on planets and fight. That was one thing that was going to be epic about Star Wars Battlefront 3. I recently had watched a video again about that game and the stuff about it, and they talked about how some of those elements in that game got put in the PSP game, Star Wars Battlefront Elite Squadron, which I do have the other Star Wars Battlefront game, which I think was, what was that, Renegade Squadron, I think it was what it was called, where you played with Han Solo and his team. And then I also have, of course, they have the classic Star Wars Battlefront 2 I want to get on PSP, but I wanted to get this Elite one. This one I know for sure was only was priced at $10. Great deal for it, is complete, and I can't wait to play because I love these old Star Wars Battlefront games. Now those new ones EA released on Xbox One, PS4, and that stuff, I was really disappointed in those just because of the lack of content in them, the lack of single player. I mean, they did go back and like add some things to it and let you have bot matches and stuff, but I miss these classic Star Wars Battlefront games. These were awesome, and I can't wait to play this one. And the guy also that was there said that he loved this game when it came out. He also had one of these in his collection before he sold it off. Everything. This was another one of those games he had. So I'm so happy to have Star Wars Battlefront Renegade or Elite Squadron. I can't wait to play this one because I love that series. So happy to get that. And the last PSP game we got here, another RPG, and that is Dragoneers Aria. And this was the one that was the most expensive at $12, but it is complete. Another PSP RPG for my collection. Has the nice big thick manual there, and it's another one I eventually look forward to checking out. So that is awesome. Like I said, so I got a whole bunch of PSP games now for my collection. I'm actually at 98 titles, so I almost cracked 100 games from the PSP. There's still a whole bunch more titles I want to get for my PSP this year, so you guys will see me picking up a lot more in future pickup videos this year, as I want to keep expanding and building my PSP collection. And I have one final game to share with you guys. This is a final gift from my brother. Was so excited when I saw it, and we had to grab it because of the price of it, and I've wanted to add this to my PS1 collection for a long time, but I just have not found it for a good price or in good condition. And this game is awesome. I know my buddy Dean loves this game, and he recently got it as a gift, and that is Duke Nukem Land of the Babes. And this was only priced at $13. This goes for like $20, $30 normally at all the stores here. Even this store, the location that we went to, the last time I was there a couple months ago, it was priced at $35. This time I go there, and it was marked down to $13. So that was awesome. It's in really good condition. Disc is scratch-free. Only thing that's annoying, it does have this little black plastic insert in the case, which I have plenty of extra clear ones, so I'm going to swap that out because you don't get to see the little artwork that's in there. But I was so excited to get this game. I only need one more Duke Nukem game now, and I'll have all the Duke Nukem games released on the PS1, because I think there was a total of 3 released for it. And so I just need to get one more for it. But this was awesome. This is actually one of my favorite gifts that Mike got me. So that was awesome. So there you guys go. There's the stuff, that I picked up for myself, and then my brother got me a whole bunch of gifts. He went overboard and got me like 28 things. I thought he was just going to get me a couple games, and he just kept saying, no, get this. This is cool. This is price cheap. No, get this, get that. And so I left those couple days with a whole bunch of stuff and really built up my PSP collection. So that's awesome. I do plan to play some of these games, and when I do, I will share them with you guys in my weekly playlist series. That's the series I release every week, where I talk about the games I've been playing during the week and share my thoughts and opinions on them. So some of these games you guys will see in this next year in those upcoming weekly playlist videos. I definitely want to thank you guys for all your support over the years. You guys have been amazing. I love interacting with you guys, reading your guys' comments, checking out your guys' videos. Let me know what stuff you guys have recently picked up. And if you let me know. You might see something you guys got that might be pretty cool for me that I should pick up. And if you guys know of any really good PSP games you think I should get, leave a comment and let me know some of the games that are out there, because I'm always looking to discover more PSP games that I missed out on, and I really want to build up my PSP collection. That's one of my main goals this year, is to build it up. And like I said, you saw all the games I got already. I'm currently sitting at 98 titles for the PSP, so doing really well with that goal this year. And I just want to say one more time, thanks to my brother so much for the awesome gifts. Love you, dude, and thank you so much for all these wonderful gifts. I want to thank you guys for watching. Take care, have an amazing day, and Sleepy will see you guys next time.